So what I believe at an early stage a startup should be optimizing for is creative execution. And that's a weird combination of doing the right thing and doing it fast and doing it well. So there's you got to have a number of iterations. You got to be able to take your creativity and take 10, 20, 30, 50 attempts in quick succession. You have to create them high quality. Like one of the things that always impressed me about Clubhouse was not only is it updating the app a lot, they're shipping features all the time, but it's just extremely well implemented. It's almost pixel perfect. Someone is obsessing over where all the features and buttons and links and so on go. And then there's creativity in terms of good ideas, and the creativity needs criticism. It can't just live on its own because if we just want to start forming connections and come with ideas, we can come with them all day long, but someone has to critique them, but in a friendly improv kind of way where they say, yes, that's one idea, and we can also do it this way. So it has to be like positive, constructive criticism to go with it. So really the question you're asking is not how many people do I need on my team or how big should the company be or should I prototype on my own? It's what is the right combination of people to spark maximum creativity or maximum creative execution, because it's not just whiteboarding, this is execution. So maximum creative execution. Historically, that turns out to be two people. It's not always the case. Sometimes you can have a lot of creativity with just one person who's been thinking about the problem for a long time. For example, Satoshi Nakamoto is probably one person. Vitalik, actually, it's not fair. I don't want to say Vitalik was single-handed because I know he did have other people around him. So I don't actually know the founding story. But there are examples where the creativity is mainly in one individual, and there are lots of examples where the creativity is mainly two people riffing back and forth and improving each other's ideas and really just complementing each other well. And then from there, it gets rarer and harder as you add more people. So can your maximum point of creativity be three people? Sure, it could. Four, less likely. Five, way less likely. By the time you're 10, your execution capabilities have gone way up, but your creative capabilities have gone way down. So I actually think what you want to figure out is what is your creative execution capability? If you're a one-person machine, if you can crank out lots and lots of iteration, you have lots of good ideas, you've thought about the problem deeply, those ideas have been vetted over the years, and you have a strong vision, then just recruiting a person for the sake of recruiting them, odds are it's going to make you less creative. You're going to spend a lot of time trying to explain things to that person, you might clash. But on the other hand, if you had, like, say, an office mate or a former business partner or a grad student that you'd work with, you get along great, you both like riff on each other's ideas, that person does something you can't do well and you do something they can't do well, and the two of you together enjoy working back to back, then that team is going to have much better creative execution than you can have on your own. So I would optimize for creative execution. And only you can answer that question because only you know who's around you and what you're capable of.
Brilliant. Thank you, Naval.
Cool. Let's do Sam. Hey, Sam. Welcome.
Hey, Naval, thanks. And it's always fun to listen to Lex. I don't mind him going on.
Yeah, Lex is great. Yeah, he got a pass. He's
Yeah.
Lex.
So I had a question about like the where we're going with privacy, right? We see these changes from Apple with their app transparency, the prompt that they're having. There's a whole subject around this, advertising tracking for marketing purposes. Google has also made a big change where they're deprecating the pixel. And I want to understand what your thoughts about this process and where we're going and how does this match with AI? Because AI needs like a lot of data and we're taking data away. And if you can, like maybe talk about how this relates to China, because in China, they don't have this privacy respecting, view of the world. So they have more data, their AI is going to be better.
Yeah, I'm neither a privacy expert nor a AI expert, so I'm just giving opinions here. My sense is that we're living in an age where physical privacy is dead because cameras are everywhere, and you could just be identified left and right walking down the street, and they can already stitch together, ex post facto after a crime, but Face ID is going to be everywhere and everything. So physical privacy is just gone, ceases to exist. And on the one hand, you can lament that, but then on the other hand, remember we evolved in hunter-gatherer tribes of 150 people where there was no such thing as physical privacy. You didn't even have your own room. back then, let alone any expectation of physical privacy walking down the street. So kind of this casual anonymity that we got used to in the early 20th century and the 19th century, where you could lose yourself in a crowd, that's gone. Now, digital privacy is the thing that remains. And in fact, digital privacy allows more than just privacy. It allows anonymity, where you can just be a hexadecimal string on a blockchain. It allows pseudonymity, where you can have identities on Twitter that develop reputations of their own, but are not necessarily matched to you.